Big welcome to this second video in the Functional Pilates series that I've been putting on. Short and sweet, we're going to do some movements today that are about both pushing and pulling and tying them in with our Pilates principles. We'll begin laying on our backs, feet set hip distance apart, knees are bent, and coming into a Pilates style of breathing along with some pelvic tilts. So on your inhalation breath, I want you to pull your bottom up towards your shoulder blades and arch your low back as far away from the floor as you can. And then on your exhalation breath, to tilt your pelvis forward, and that's to push your low back down into the mat as hard as you can. Let's add on elements of the breathing. So inhalation breath, low back arches from the mat and your rib cage flares out from the midline of your body. Exhalation breath, low back pushes into the mat and the rib cage knits into the midline of the body. Inhalation breath, it feels like your belly is swelling up towards the ceiling. Exhalation breath, we pull our belly button to the back of the spine as firmly as we can. Inhalation breath, the pelvic floor is soft as the hips draw down from the rib cage, low back arches from the mat. Exhalation breath, we pull the hips up towards the rib cage. We pull our urethra up towards our belly button to engage the pelvic floor. A couple more like that. Inhale, breath, pelvis tilts backwards, rib cage expands, pelvic floor is soft. Exhalation breath, pelvis tilts forward, low back pushes into the mat, pelvic floor is engaged. Go for about 3 or 4 more rounds, just focusing on this breathing. Remember, you can make the breath very noisy on the exhalation to assist with this contraction of our deep muscle tissue. So your inhale would draw in through the nose, and then your exhalation, as though somebody's about to wind you by giving you a wee punch in the stomach. Couple more rounds. And then from here, let's come into some glute bridges with our arms framing the sides of our body. We take an inhale breath to prepare, low back slightly arched from the mat. Exhalation breath, pelvic floor and core engage. We push that low back firmly down to the mat, and then we push into our feet to lift our hips. Inhale at the top of the movement, squeeze your glutes on there, and then exhalation breath, firm up your core, come down the highest part of your back into your low back. And the inhale is an sensation as we lift that low back from the mat, and we repeat. Exhalation breath, low back pushes down into the mat. We push through the feet as we lift the hips. Inhale to squeeze the glutes on. Exhalation breath to firm up the abdominals and to roll back down, highest part of your back into your low back. Let's go for 6 more like this. Thinking here too about the push movement through the arms and the back of the shoulders. So as we come on up, can you push a little bit more firmly against the ground using those arms? And last 2. And last 1 here. Beautiful. We're going to come from here into a fun variation of our Pilates ab prep exercise, where we're imagining that we're using our arms to pull ourselves up a rope. So we take an inhalation breath here to prepare. Exhale, pelvic floor engages, core engages. We peel our head, neck and shoulders away from the ground. And I want you to set your right hand higher on this imaginary rope and your left hand lower. Inhale, pause. Exhale, travel up with the left hand. The right one sinks down a little bit. Inhale here, exhale, travel higher. And we're going to repeat this. If it's a little bit hard for you to hold the abdominal contraction, I want you to lower all the way down before you come up into that pull. So there's your choices. And smile on your face. We're imagining climbing up this rope. Maybe that's not something you've done before. Maybe it's something you're really experienced in. But we should be feeling here the ribcage curling to the hips and the challenge that that takes through our abdominal muscle wall. You can hear it in my voice. And let's go for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it on down. Well done. We're going to come from here up to a seat. So let's take our time extending the legs out long to practice our Pilates roll up. And if it's not something we're achieving, then we'll roll over to our side to come to seated after we've practiced a few of these. So inhalation breath with the arms now outstretched above the head. Exhale breath, core and pelvic floor engage, and we use the arms to initiate the roll up, then lifting head, neck and shoulders away from the ground. Inhale as we sit up in a nice L shape. Exhale, the abs are on. We take the arms parallel to the legs and we roll back down, lowest part of the back, through the mid-back, shoulders, neck and head. And we prepare for another. Inhale here, exhale, pelvic floor and core engage. And then we try and roll up. Maybe we get stuck here, in which case we take an inhale breath here and then exhale, strong core. We lower back down with control. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale breath. Exhale, abs are on, arms initiate the move. Inhale as we come to halfway up or all the way up. Exhale, refirm up that core and lower back down. 3 to go with the breath. And last one, those of you that are getting all the way up, you're already up. And if you weren't getting all the way up and you were just here, finish your roll down, roll to your side, and then press yourself up to a seat. From our seat, let's come into another little push movement here into our hands to come into a reverse tabletop. And we're going to add a little bit of tricep dipping into it. So the goal here is to turn our hands to have the fingertips face our hips. If that feels like it's too much into your wrist, you could fan your fingertips slightly out to the side, but still try and pull your elbows in towards the midline of your back. Set your feet at hip distance apart. We're going to start by bending our elbows back. So inhalation breath, bend back. Exhale, push into those hands and drive up. Inhalation breath, sink back. Exhale, abs on and push up. If you've mastered that, we take the hips away from the ground and we bend back and then we sit up. We bend back, exhale and up. Bend at the elbows straight back and up. The closer to your hands your hips get, the more challenge you might have here. And up. Let's do this for 3 more. 2 to go. And last one. And up. Good work. Now we're going to come all the way up into our reverse tabletop. So inhalation, breath, prepare. Exhale, pelvic floor and core engage. And we lift our hips away from the floor, aiming to bring our belly to the sky, making a table shape across our torso. Inhale here. Exhale, the abs are on. As we come back, let's try and swing our hips back and bend a little at our elbows. So this is our tricep challenge. Exhalation breath, abs are on, and we push ourselves into reverse tabletop. Inhale here, exhale, down we come, swinging those hips back, bend into the elbows a little bit, catch it with the triceps. Exhale. Now if you want to progress this, it could look like this. We swing the hips back and we actually catch them quite high up between the hands. Exhale, and then we throw them forward. Inhale, we sit back. Choose some variation of this. Exhale and up. Last one here. Inhale, coming back and or bending at the elbows. And then we're all going to meet with our legs out long. Coming into a hip lift, hip flexibility work. Let's try and sit right up on our sitting bones, untucking that fleshy part of your bottom. We take an inhale breath here to prepare. You can press into your fingertips a little bit. Exhale, abs are on, and we try and lift our right leg. Inhale as we lower. Exhale, left leg, lift. Inhale, lower. Now, if you're having a great deal of difficulty with this, I want you to try sitting up on a cushion or on a yoga block if you have one handy, to especially bring your torso just into this nice vertical alignment. If you're finding this really easy, I want you to take your hands away as support and aim for the highest lift that you can get. If you get a cramp through your quadricep, I want you to stop the movement. Turn your quadricep to jelly, flush that cramp out before you try and come back in. We've got 4 to go. And 3. So we're doing this as a predecessor to our classical Pilates exercise, the leg pull. It's a lot of hip flexor work, it's a lot of core work, a lot of balance. And let's give this one a go now. This is a modified leg pull. We take our hands behind the hips, about a forearm's distance away. We bend at the knees, just like we did for our reverse tabletop. We take an inhale breath to prepare. Exhale, abs are on, and we thrust our hips up high. From here, with bent knees, we're going to lift the legs away from the ground one at a time. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, abs are on, and we lift. Inhale, and we lower. Exhale, firm up the core, squeeze the glutes, and lift. Inhale and lower. Try and keep your pelvis as steady as possible against the movement. So watch that when you lift the leg, you're not dropping in the hip at all. Ooh. Find your balance. Use that strong core, that exhalation breath. And down. We're going to do this for 6 more. And down. 5. 4. Let it be a nice neutral neck. 3. 2. Oh, whoops. And last one. And down we come. Take your time to lower back down. And let's give our wrists a good flick if they need them. Maybe turn them into some little rocks and just push them forward as we're coming around now onto our hands and our knees. So wrists spend quite a lot of time then being in that position where we're flat to the palms. So we're just going to try taking them in the reverse of that for a moment. Palms facing the ceiling perhaps, and a little rock here. And then let's turn those hands around. You could do this on soft fists as well if it feels better for you. Coming into a scapular press up, knees hip distance apart. Inhalation breath here as we drop our chest down towards the ground, and then exhale, push the floor away and let the chest rise back up. We're isolating here the scapula, the shoulder blades in the back of your body, thinking about keeping those elbows soft but then not bending them. Working into that press, working into our mobility. You find the right range for you. Inhale down. Each exhale comes with belly button to the back of the spine. 2 more. And last one. Then let's come into a nice pulling movement from here. Inhale, breath to prepare. Exhale, core and pelvic floor are on. And we're going to pull our right elbow up towards the ceiling. Open up a little bit to the side. Inhale, pause. Exhale, and take it back down. Let's go the other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pelvic floor and core engage. Left elbow lifts to the sky. Take a little bit of a rotation over to the side. Inhale, pause. Exhale, and take it down. Let's do that a little bit quicker. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, abs on. Lift. Inhale, return to the earth. Exhale, lift. And then return. So we're thinking about rowing up towards the ceiling, using our back muscles. If you wanted to progress this exercise and you have a Dynaband at home, you could add a Dynaband that you're pulling away from the ground, or some little dumbbells, or some heavy dumbbells if you wanted to go there. And One more progression option that you could use is to simultaneously extend the opposite leg. So have a play around with those choices. And we've got 2 to go. Last one. And then let's come into a little bit of push-up practice. You could take this against a wall if need be. You take it to your toes or on your knees, but start at a level that challenges you. I'll head onto the knees, gliding my pelvis forward, checking my hands here are in alignment with my chest, and that when I bend at the elbows, they're coming out at a 45-degree angle. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to start from the top down and work to a range that is accessible for you. So the inhalation breath is the dip into the press up. The exhalation breath firms up the core and pelvic floor and we push away. We're going to try for 4 more. So inhale down, exhale, and away. Try and get the chest to the ground if you're able to use that range. And last 2. I'm not sure if I can count my 5, but that's okay. Last one. And up. Good job. We'll take a moment just to press back. Last exercise, we're going to come over onto our belly. So take your time to come down to the mat and we'll work on an I to a T raise. So we'll take our arms out front with the thumbs facing the ceiling. We take an inhalation breath here and then exhale, anchor your pubic bone to the mat. And I just want to start with a little bit of prep. So we just lift head, neck and shoulders and we keep those pinky fingers anchored. Inhalation breath glides us back down to the mat. Exhale, push the pubic bone down, belly button to the back of the spine and lift up. Inhale, take it down. And let's do T prep in the T position. So we take our arms out into a T shape, thumbs facing the ceiling like you're giving a thumbs up, shoulders draw down the back. Inhale here, exhale, pubic bone anchors, and we lift. Inhale and we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale and lower. And then let's try taking our arms between those 2 positions as though we're pulling something apart. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pubic bone anchors. We lift up. We take the arms from I to T shape. Inhale, pause. Exhale, abs are on. They go back and they come down. Let's do that again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pubic bone anchors. Lift I shape to T shape. Inhale, pause. Exhale, forward we go and down. Lift, extend, pull those shoulder blades together, come forward and down. Smile on the face because it feels so good. And 2 more. Last one. And then we're all going to try just one beautiful push-up away from the ground. So we take our palms to frame our body either side of our chest. We could bend at the knees, cross the ankles and push from here. Or we could try to go onto our toes if that's something that's accessible for us. We take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, push the pubic bone down into the mat, pull the belly button to the back of the spine and push the floor away. And then we'll take a little child's pose to rest it out. So I do challenge you to get your push-ups in, to remember that it's an incredibly functional movement. It could be a saving grace in terms of falls prevention or more if a fall does occur at all in life, you're confident you can catch yourself and push the floor away with your hands. A couple of nice deep breaths here. You can come to whatever seat feels good and you might just take your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another for a moment. And then we could lift our arms up, draw them down to our heart, and just give yourself some lovely words of encouragement. Thank you for joining me for this short video, and I'll have another one in the series up in the next couple of weeks.